Did you know that over 80% of financial decisions aren't made with a calculator, but with the heart? That's right. Often, it's not a lack of money that destroys your financial life, but a lack of emotional control. In today's video, you're going to discover the 5 simple and powerful rules to master your financial emotions and stop sabotaging your future. Get ready, because understanding this could change the way you handle money forever. Chapter 1. The True Financial Enemy. When we think about financial difficulties, the first idea that comes to mind is a lack of money. It seems obvious. If the problem is financial, the cause must be a shortage of resources. But the truth is much deeper. The biggest enemy of your financial progress isn't outside of you, it's inside your mind. Studies show that over 80% of our money-related decisions are emotional, not rational. That means even when we know what to do, we often choose the opposite. We spend when we should save, buy on impulse, invest out of fear, or sell in a panic. This behavior doesn't happen by chance. Our brain was wired, through evolution, to seek quick rewards and avoid immediate risks. The problem is that in the financial world, this instinct is almost always harmful. After all, money grows with patience, discipline, and a long-term vision. That's why the real challenge isn't just learning about investments, extra income, or household budgeting. The real challenge is mastering your own emotions. Whoever wins this internal battle also wins the external one against debts, waste, and bad habits. In this first chapter, you've understood that the biggest obstacle isn't a lack of knowledge, but a lack of emotional control. In the next chapters, we'll explore the practical rules that will help you regain power over your finances and transform your relationship with money once and for all. Chapter 2. The Impact of Emotions on Money. Imagine you get a raise at work. Logic would say, now's the time to invest more, save more, and move toward financial independence. But in practice, what happens to most people is the opposite. With the raise comes an increase in spending. That's emotion speaking louder than reason. Financial emotions don't just show up in times of abundance, but also in crises. When the market drops, many sell in desperation. When a miracle opportunity appears, many buy without thinking. It's fear and greed behind the wheel, not a well-structured plan. This emotional impact can destroy years of effort in just minutes. An impulse buy can lead to debt. A hasty sale can cause irreparable losses. It's like every decision is a game where you have to choose, be guided by emotion or by your financial plan. Not controlling emotions is like having a powerful car without brakes. You might go faster for a while, but you're doomed to crash. But those who master the emotional side can stay on course, even in the face of unexpected turns. That's why, before learning about advanced investments or thinking about multiplying your wealth, it's essential to understand how emotions influence your financial choices. In the next chapter, we'll reveal the first of the 5 essential rules to regain control and build a solid future. Chapter 3, Rule 1. Recognize your emotions before deciding. The first rule for mastering your financial emotions is simple but powerful. Recognize what you're feeling before making any decision. It seems obvious, but most people don't even realize they're acting on impulse. How many times have you said, "I deserve this treat," and bought something you didn't need? Or thought, "It's going to keep rising forever," and invested without doing your homework? In those situations, it wasn't logic calling the shots. It was emotion disguised as a rational justification. Recognizing the emotion means pausing for a few seconds and asking, "Am I making this decision because it makes sense, or because I'm anxious, scared, or too excited?" That small pause creates space between the impulse and the action, and often it's enough to avoid a costly mistake. A practical example: imagine you get a bonus at work. Euphoria might scream, "Spend it now." But if you apply this rule, you'll identify the excitement and consciously decide to save it or invest part of it. The long-term result will be much more satisfying. Mastering this first rule doesn't mean eliminating emotions. That's impossible. It just means recognizing them before acting, so you're in charge of your decisions and not a prisoner to them. In the next chapter, we'll explore the second rule, which will teach you how to handle the danger of hasty decisions. Chapter 4, Rule 2. Avoid decisions in the heat of the moment. The second rule is clear. Never make financial decisions in the heat of the moment. This applies to big purchases, investments, or any choice involving your money. The urge to act fast is usually the enemy of a good decision. Our brain loves immediate rewards. That's why, when we see a sale or hear about an opportunity, the first reaction is to jump on it right away. But what feels urgent most of the time isn't. That rush is emotions disguised trying to take control. A simple strategy is to apply the 24-hour rule. Whenever you feel the urge to spend or invest impulsively, wait a day before deciding. That waiting period reduces the emotion's grip and boosts reason's power. Practical example, you're at the mall and spot that latest model smartphone on sale. Emotion yells, "Buy it now, it's the deal of a lifetime." But if you apply the 24-hour rule, you might realize the next day that your old one works just fine, and you've saved thousands of bucks just by waiting. Patience is one of the biggest allies in finances. Those who avoid rushing make smarter choices and build a more solid future. In the next chapter, we'll reveal the third rule, which involves creating a plan and sticking to it with discipline, no matter the circumstances. Chapter 5, Rule 3. Have a plan and follow it with discipline. The third rule is perhaps the most powerful. Those with a clear financial plan don't get swept away by market emotions or consumer temptations. Without a plan, any news, sale, or conversation can knock you off course. A financial plan works like a map. It shows where you're headed and what steps to take. It might include goals like pay off debts, build an emergency fund, invest monthly, or achieve financial independence by a certain date. The most important part is discipline. It's not enough to jot down goals on paper and stuff them in a drawer. You have to review them, track progress, and make decisions aligned with that plan, even when the world seems to scream otherwise. Practical example, imagine the stock market is crashing. Fear might whisper, sell everything to protect yourself. But if your plan is long-term investing, selling now would contradict it. Sticking to the plan keeps emotion from wrecking years of effort. Having a plan is the antidote to uncertainty. It gives you direction, clarity, and confidence, even in turbulent times. In the next chapter, we'll meet the fourth rule, which shows how limits and automation can shield you from your own emotions. Chapter 6, Rule 4. Use limits and automate your finances. The fourth rule is practical and highly effective. Set limits and automate your financial habits. This strategy cuts down the chances of emotional self-sabotage and ensures the right decisions get made even when your discipline slips. Limits act like protective barriers. A simple example is setting a spending cap for fun or personal shopping. Knowing exactly how much you can spend without blowing your budget eliminates guilt and keeps you in control. Automation, on the other hand, is like having an autopilot working for you. Automatic debits for investments, savings, or debt payments stop you from using the money impulsively. So even if emotion says, spend it, the system has already set aside what really matters. Practical example, when payday hits, a chunk of your salary is automatically transferred to your emergency fund. You don't even miss it, because it happens before any emotional spending kicks in. It's like tricking your own mind to your advantage. With clear limits and smart automation, you drastically reduce emotion's power over your money. In the next chapter, we'll get to the fifth and final rule, which shows the importance of accepting mistakes and learning from them. Chapter 7, Rule 5. Accept mistakes and learn from them. The fifth rule might seem counterintuitive, but it's essential. Accept that you're going to mess up at some point. No financial journey is perfect, and chasing perfection just breeds frustration and giving up. Lots of people quit getting their finances in order because at some point they overspent or made a bad investment call. But messing up is part of the process. The key is to learn fast and not repeat the same mistakes. Accepting mistakes means looking back without beating yourself up, but with a growth mindset. Every slip-up is a lesson in disguise. If you spent on impulse, figure out the trigger. If you invested poorly, understand which emotion drove it. Practical example. Imagine someone who lost money on a risky investment after taking a friend's tip. Instead of ditching investing altogether, they can learn to do better research and stick to a safer plan. That turns pain into wisdom. By accepting your mistakes as part of the path, you break free from perfectionism and build financial resilience. With this fifth rule, we close the loop on the principles that shield your mind from emotional sabotage. In the next chapter, we'll pull all the rules together into a full view of financial balance. Chapter 8. The Journey of Emotional Control. Now that you've met the 5 rules, it's time to see them as a system. Each one has its own strength, but together they form a real shield against the impulses that can wreck your finances. The first rule, recognizing emotions, opens the door to awareness. The second, avoiding decisions in the heat of the moment, creates space to reflect. The third, having a plan, provides direction. The fourth, using limits and automation, protects against slip-ups. And the fifth, accepting mistakes, ensures resilience to keep going. When combined, these rules transform your relationship with money. You stop being driven by fleeting feelings and start being guided by solid strategies. It's like swapping a rudderless boat for a ship with a set course. Practical example, think of someone building their emergency fund. They recognize the anxiety to spend. Rule 1. Wait before buying something pricey. Rule 2. Stick to their plan of saving a monthly percentage. Rule 3. Automate that deposit. Rule 4. And if they slip 1 month, learn and get back on track. Rule 5. The inevitable result? Progress. The journey of emotional control isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. In the next chapter, we'll explore how these principles not only strengthen your finances but also transform other areas of your life, like work, relationships, and well-being. Chapter 9. The Ripple Effect of Financial Emotions on All of Life. Controlling financial emotions doesn't just improve your bank account. That mastery has direct ripple effects across many areas of your life. After all, money touches almost every choice we make, from what we eat to where we live, the trips we take to the peace we feel when we hit the pillow. When you learn to pause before deciding, wait 24 hours, stick to a plan, and accept mistakes, those habits don't stay boxed in finances. They become natural behaviors that start influencing your personal and professional relationships too. For example, someone who learns not to buy on impulse also builds patience at work, avoiding knee-jerk reactions and earning more credibility. Likewise, automating finances teaches routine building, which spills over into discipline in other areas like health or learning. Another big ripple is reduced stress. Many family fights and anxiety attacks stem from money woes. Mastering money-linked emotions builds more harmony in relationships and clearer thinking for life decisions. That's why we can say controlling your financial emotions isn't just a step toward economic freedom, it's also toward a more balanced and fulfilling life. In the next chapter, we'll reveal how small daily habits can reinforce that control and solidify your growth journey. Chapter 10. Daily Habits that Reinforce Emotional Control. Mastering financial emotions doesn't happen overnight. It's like training a muscle. It takes repetition, consistency, and practice. Small daily habits are the real foundation for sustaining the 5 rules you've already learned. One of the most powerful habits is tracking expenses. When you jot down every spend, no matter how small, you build awareness. That awareness is like a mirror showing your impulses and helping spot hidden emotional patterns. Another habit is practicing mindful pauses. Whenever you feel the itch to spend or switch an investment on a whim, take a deep breath, count to 10, and ask, does this decision line up with my plan? This simple practice cuts emotions' hold on your wallet. It's also worth adding weekly rituals, like reviewing your budget or checking investments. That regular touch point avoids nasty surprises and keeps you tied to your plan, instead of only reacting when a crisis hits. With these habits, you build self-control daily and turn theory into action. In the next chapter, we'll wrap it all up in an inspiring conclusion, showing how these rules and habits can pave the way to your true financial freedom. Chapter 11. The Path to Financial Freedom Starts Within You. We've reached the end of this journey. You've discovered that the biggest financial enemy isn't a lack of money, but uncontrolled emotions that sabotage your choices. And you've seen that it's possible to beat that enemy by applying 5 simple, game-changing rules. Recognize your emotions, wait before deciding, have a clear plan, use limits and automation, and accept your mistakes as part of learning. These are the foundations of a balanced, aware, and increasingly prosperous financial life. More than investment formulas, you've learned behavioral principles. Because in the end, wealth isn't just about numbers, it's about repeated attitudes over time. It's the small, consistent steps that build big results. Now, the choice is yours. You can keep being a prisoner to emotions, or you can apply what you've learned and kick off a real transformation in your life. The future you want starts with the choices you make today. Remember, financial freedom isn't some distant destination. It's a journey that begins within you. Master your emotions, and you've mastered the first and most important step toward the independence and peace you deserve. You've just heard a guide to mastering your financial emotions and taking the first step toward true freedom. But remember, knowledge without action is just info. Put these rules into practice, transform your relationship with money, and build, day by day, the future you deserve. If this content resonated with you, share it with someone who needs this transformation too. Keep following our audiobooks and financial summaries to keep your mind sharp and your choices smarter and smarter. Your independence starts now. And the next chapter of this story is up to you.